Gloria Victis is an MMORPG developed by Black Eye Games. It has an emphasis on realism set in a low fantasy medieval open world. It has skill-based non-targeted combat, open PvP with territory control, a deep crafting system, and a player-driven economy. Also, I'd like to point out that we do state in this video that Gloria Victis is $40, but it's actually $20. It's $19.99 on Steam. So when we mentioned $40, we were off. It is a $20 game. So stick around and find out what we think about Gloria Victis. Coming up. We should do torch duels.
Dude, that would be lit.
So hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thaco Gamers. My name is Matt, and I have here with me Jason and Bad Joke Matt.
Aw.
We started off with
I thought
this
you were a bad joke, Matt.
wonderful pun. I was just talking about myself. It's just me and Jay doing
okay.
this one today.
I guess that makes sense then.
So today we are
better intro.
so today we are playing Gloria Victis, which is available on Steam. How much is this right now on Steam? Is it like $40? Is this the $40 one that we were?
I think so.
I think it is.
I think it was free.
It's in alpha early access. The developers gave us a copy of this game to check it out.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very
They
much.
were actually really cool when you contacted them, it seemed like, too.
Yeah, they were, and they actually offered to play the game with us and teach us how to play it because this ain't yo mama's MMO.
We probably should have taken them up on that.
No,
We're like, yeah, no big deal. It's a big deal.
What was that, Jay?
no. What the most fun of it is figure out what the hell this button.
Yeah, I agree. So, so anyways, yeah, it's pretty cool. We did get this game for free, but that is not going to sway any of our opinions that we have on this. But it's basically a low fantasy medieval PvP death hell, and it's in it is alpha early access right now. So there are a little bit of glitches and bugs to it, but overall it's I was pretty surprised. This is actually a pretty enjoyable game.
Yeah, it is actually pretty fun. I mean, from what we've done so far, which is like do a couple of quests and kill a bunch of people, it seems pretty cool. The crafting system, I will say, is absolutely headache migraine causing if you something done. It reminds me a ton of like Arcade, but without like all the crazy like crystals and stupid things. It's all like, you know, things that you would know to exist back in medieval times.
Like leather and wood.
Leather and beeswax and like, I mean, it's crazy, dude. Like the amount of stuff you need to create things in here. It's just, it's kind of cool, but it's kind of like mind-boggling at the same time.
So what are some of the things that you've crafted recently?
Bags.
Is that it? Is that all you've made?
The inventory stuff sucks so bad because you start and you get your one bag, and then you can like buy these things, you know, buy these 4 slots. So it like reminds me, the inventory reminds me of like beginning WoW, where you have like just one bag. Once it fills up, you better sell some shit or you're like clicking and deleting stuff out of here. But the only problem with this is that if you click something and you go to delete it, like you might need that to craft something and you have no idea because the crafting system is just crazy.
Well, for an example, I created beer because that's my second favorite beverage, and
aside from liquor.
yes. And you know, to create a barley beer, you need to have byproducts of lower level beers. So like you can't even create the brewer's wort that you need without first making like watered down cheap ass beer. What it's called. Cheap ass watered down beer.
Cheap ass watered down beer.
That's what it's called.
So it's pretty cool. Basically, most of it is PvP based. There is PvP in the game. Now I have the map open right now. All of the red areas. We are, and I don't even know the name of the faction. The red faction, the Hillmen or something like that.
The hillbillies.
But so we have a very large portion. It's red, yellow, and blue, and we actually just did some raids and took over some of these areas over here. And
we did some on our own that first night.
Yeah, we did on the first night too. We actually,
that was actually really cool.
Our guild actually took over a few places, and our guild banner was raising above, flying above those places, which was pretty cool.
Our guild banner is kind of amazing. I'm not gonna lie.
Check out the special features to see the guild banner. But
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah. So it's right now. It's like we were talking about earlier. It's very uneven. Although we did meet some resistance today when we were going through and taking places over. But there's clearly a lot more people playing in this faction. One thing I think that it'd be cool if they did, if they kind of pushed you to, like, when people log in, just defaulted, because no one knows anything about this, so we're all just like, yeah, whatever, we'll be these guys. And if they kind of defaulted people into the blue or the yellow factions when they started, if they didn't specifically choose another one, would be kind of nice, because I think that's part of the reason that we're in the one that is kind of,
because it defaulted to
just kind of defaulted to it, and we're like, yeah, whatever, all right, let's go. So
but it seems like blue and yellow are getting a little bit more player base, at least.
Yeah, there were quite
when we first logged on, it was like the tournament went out and it was 50 of us and then like one of yellow and one of blue, and now it's like, I mean, they're putting up a pretty decent fight, and it seems like the people in those factions know what they're doing, and we have no idea.
That is true. But it's pretty cool. The combat is I've never actually played For Honor, but this is how For Honor kind of looked to me when I was looking at the videos of it. But I don't know, how would you guys describe it?
Well, the way that they describe it, the creators, I was reading, and they said it was like a rock paper scissors type thing. You know, like attack beats kick, kick beats block, and block beats attack, right? And every time you like attack somebody and you block it, it has a chance to stagger them, and that's when you do your damage, you know, because they don't have any defenses while they're kind of stunned. But it's really, I think the patch that they just did is really, hey, I got an arrow in my face.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Like the combat, I don't know if they just did a patch or whatnot, but yesterday it was terrible. But today it seems like it's a lot more faster paced than it was even when we first started.
Yeah.
And they've added, you know, some icons and stuff to kind of help with blocking and parrying and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're working on it, and I actually really kind of like the combat.
I do too.
I have never played For Honor, but from what I've seen, like when somebody attacks, you get this little reticle that pops up, and in whatever direction they're attacking kind of lights up, and then you have to like quick block in that direction to kind of offset them. And that's what they do in this game. Like this reticle pops up, and then you got a quick block in whatever direction you are, parry in that direction. Shields just kind of block all around, but they have like a health, like a shield health, and then once the shield health goes down to 0, you can't block for a while until you refresh your basically they call it like arm fatigue. So they're kind of going pretty realistic as far as like the fighting and everything.
And your attacks, you can attack different angles too. You can attack from the side or stabbing forward depending on your action of the mouse that when you begin your attack, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, you can really tell with like the axes. See how he's swinging from the left there,
Mm-hmm.
and then swinging straight on,
Mm-hmm.
and then right into the face. Oh, that's swinging from the right. There we go. Overhead chop.
And
So
when you take, you have all these weapons, and when you take over the each of these, when you try to siege, these forts or whatever. Oh, jeez, that's right through my head. But they have you need your specific weapons too when you go through to break down the doors and bust your way in. So, and it's pretty cool. And you said you can reinforce towns and stuff like that too, right,
you
Matt?
can, yeah. Like, so if you travel to a town that you've taken over, you'll see those green treasure chests.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to the green treasure chest, it'll say, "Do you want to donate like certain things to the construction?" I guess. And then once you finish it, the wall upgrades, and it's harder to break down.
Oh, okay.
Because that when we were fighting, doing the PvP thing, the world PvP, we were attacking those guys, and everybody kind of got bottlenecked inside the portcullis and the gateway here. So me and another guy went around to the side, and we started beating down a wall, which kind of drew some of them away and let our guys get in a little bit. And so it was kind of, I mean, it seems like it can be very tactical, and there's player collision, which is really cool in a game that's you are like a pincushion.
I know.
There's player collision, which is cool in combat. See, like I can't push past you right now. So I mean, you set up like a group of guys, you can pretty much like make a wall of shield bearers, and nobody can get past them, and nobody can kill them because they've got their shields out until their arms get sore. So you're beating on them, and then you've got archers behind them and people with long axes and stuff. And
it was pretty cool. Yeah,
it seems like it could be really sweet if it's large scale.
And what do you say was the biggest we had? Was probably there's probably at least 30 or 40 of us going around there on that last one we did. I would say. Yeah,
for sure. I think there was a ton in the last one. I don't know how many exactly, but
and when you die,
it made it really fun.
and when you die, you are open to be looted by your faction as well as the other faction. So if your buddies, if you don't fully trust them, they may loot you before they decide to give you first aid and res you.
Yeah.
Because you died, Jay, didn't you? And you ended up with some less stuff when you came back to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I died yesterday when I was playing, and one of the bad guys started stealing like my my pickaxe, a dagger. They stole a knife from me, which I need for like skinning and stuff like that. So it was just kind of minor hindrances, but stuff that really makes you go,
And you need your stamina for your attacks too. And like for this, when you hold down your attack, your power charges up, and if you leave it held for too long, your power drops back down. So you have a limited amount of time to hold your attack ready to swing until you lose the power from it, which is pretty cool too. And I am a sucker for those stupid kicks. Every time I am blocking, someone kicks me and staggers me, and I'm not good at that yet.
Yeah, one of the guys, because they have an arena where you can go and kind of like hone your combat skills, and it's basically you fight, and
it's like open world multiplayer dueling. Yeah,
it's really fun because it's just like an open arena, and everybody just runs in there, and it turns into this big melee, or people separate, and try and fight each other, and then people like me just go in there to create chaos and shoot arrows at everybody. Jesus. Those arrows seat so far in people, it's ridiculous. You see that?
Like the feathers were the only thing that kept him going all the way through.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, for as realistic as they try, that just hit your shield. For as realistic as they try to make it, some of the animations are a little off, but this is pre-beta.
It's alpha right now. Yeah, it's early access right now. Early access alpha. But some of the graphics were surprisingly good, though. When we're walking through and looking at some of these landscapes, and the trees, the way they blow in the wind, and
I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really gives like an old medieval feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's real dirty. It's dark. It's not muddy like Lord of the Rings.
Right.
They've got some colors and stuff like that. And I mean, it's really what you would expect from like a medieval realistic fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
The water looks awesome too.
Yeah, I think a lot of it. I was surprised when we booted this up, looking at the graphics to some of in the videos that I had watched before. This actually looks a lot better in game than it looked in the videos that I had watched before we actually fired this up.
Yeah, I think because I've got some of my graphics turned down and everything so that it's easier to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it's optimized as well as it could be right now. And that kind of plays a part into like lag and everything like that. And in a purely PvP game, lag is
right,
a killer. So
and it's
hopefully they fix that.
It's pretty fun. We were talking about earlier when you get some guys surrounded and you start swinging and attacking them. It's pretty funny, especially because nice. So I don't even, it's been a few days since we went through character creation. I mean, it was pretty generic for the most part. I think it's all dudes as of right now, right? I don't think you can
there
create
are no
a female.
females.
And as far as the character creation, I think it was just a couple of hairstyles and a couple of beards or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the character creation isn't amazing right now, but it is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not super in depth, but again, they can fix that pretty easily.
Yeah. Nice hit.
They add backstab to this game, and it's so fun to get a backstab on somebody just because the combat is so like guttural almost.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let this guy attack you so that it shows him like the little.
I was actually watching the attack with you. Just watching you fight that guy.
These guys are all super low level.
Yeah. And we've noticed, because I was a level 20-something, 26 when we were out doing those, and I was killing guys that were 40.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think the level cap right now is 100.
Yes. So if you learn how to like, Jesus, just one-shot these guys with an axe to the face. If you learn how to fight pretty well, you can hold your own against people who are a lot higher level than you.
And gear helps a ton,
especially
too.
NPCs.
And gear isn't level bound either, is it? I don't feel like it was.
No. The only thing that prohibits you from, I don't want to say like using gear, but crafting gear is your crafting levels.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now, my tailoring and leatherworking is 9, so I can create anything from 0 to 9.
Right.
And if you go into your crafting thing, it's got those numbers on the side. That's what that means.
Cool. All right.
So I mean, there's a lot of detail in this game, and I think if they keep working on it and everything, and they give it some time, a couple of patches, it's going to be a really, really good game.
Yeah, I think even though going back with the little precedent we set for our rating of a game, I think I'm actually going to keep it installed. I think I'll play this after we're done with this. I'm definitely enjoying it. I had a good time tonight going through in that large group of people and taking down the castles and stuff was pretty cool.
That was really cool. And I think it would be really neat, maybe a couple of months down the line to actually see some like scale warage.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe 50 on 50 or more.
We almost saw that tonight, I would say.
Yeah.
If the other teams...
I think it was pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
We were smoking them pretty quick, though.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. So, in the combat, I mean, it's really cool. It really gets you into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's that's obviously a staple of a PvP game. The combat's got to be good. And I think they have this game, their combat, they're working on it. They're flushing out the flaws and everything, and I think it's working really well for it.
Yep, and as far as an alpha game, we've played games in beta or even release that have been worse. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and the developers are pushing out a lot of updates. And if you follow the forums on Steam too, they're definitely actively making this a better game. I mean, they're not just pushing this out in early access and grabbing money and being done with it. So, hopefully that trend will continue. But as far as the game is so far, I'm enjoying it, and it's definitely not for everybody. And for the price tag, you know, it definitely would need to be something that would be more, you know,
Fleshed out.
just a certain play style that even if this game was, you know, this game wouldn't be for everybody if it was fully optimized, and you know what I mean? It's just, you know,
Right.
with the full PvP and everything else. But if it even remotely looks interesting to you, I would definitely say to try it out, because it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now they're
I thought it
really-
was just going to be some weird trash little, you know, niche game that has kind of cool combat, but I mean, they've got a full storyline going, at least as far as the first, you know, beginning area is done.
mm-hmm.
Um, and
What were
you
you
level up
saying, Jay?
pretty quick.
Did another glowing review. Yeah.
So I like it. I'm gonna keep it installed.
Yep, me too. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I need to see how this ends up progressing over the next month and 2 months, year,
2 years.
2 years.
3 years,
Yeah.
7 years. I want to see if this holds up to the standard that so highly set by
Lotro.
Lord of the Rings.
Grand Theft. It's gonna be Grand Theft Auto in another 15 years. You're gonna have friggin' horse and buggy running around, and little banks that you can rob, and
Well, how sweet would that be?
that would be pretty freaking sweet. So if you're listening and
Developers.
you make developers, you guys definitely need to do a little Grand Theft Auto research, maybe, because that would be pretty sweet.
That's what the developers want to hear from us.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Make it like this game.
Make it like this game. Just a suggestion.
All right. Well, I guess that's about all we got to say for that tonight. And thank you.
I'll say about that.
Thank you, Matt and Jason, for joining me in the video tonight. And
Thank you, Matt and Jason, for joining me in the video tonight.
Thank you, Matt and Matt, for allowing me to join you in the video tonight.
So, all right. Well, I guess we're done for tonight. And thanks, everyone, for joining us. If you like the video, please like the video. If you want to subscribe to the channel, feel free to do that by clicking on the subscribe button. And let us know in the comments what you think of the game if you've played it. And if you have any other ideas of any games you'd like to see us try out. And I guess that's it. So we'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.